Why is it that sometimes the people closest to us don't treat us kindly? Do we somehow deserve this treatment? Does it imply that they are bad people, or are we bad people? All the frustration, sadness, and resentment we experience in these situations often leave us with many questions. I've worked with lots of people in psychotherapy who wonder why others treat them poorly. Sometimes it's in a romantic relationship where they're disrespected. Other times it's with a colleague who mistreats them. And it's common for many of us to have experienced something like this. Someone treated us badly and we let it happen. It may even become a pattern that repeats itself over and over again. And while it's true that mistreatment, disrespect, and abuse are never justified or deserved, it's important to recognize that our actions and boundaries may unintentionally contribute to how others treat us. So today we will explore how our actions and choices can influence the way people behave towards us. Sometimes I hear stories of people who used to believe they're the unluckiest because most people who entered their life turned out to be toxic. I remember a story of one young woman. She got a friend who she thought was the perfect friend she had always been waiting for. But as time passed by, this friend revealed a toxic side of her personality. Later, during a conversation with other people, she began complaining about how unlucky she is that her new friend turned out to be an asshole as well. Others found it hard to believe her because they knew her friend as a very nice person. So this young woman was the only person who was treated poorly. This example shows that people who mistreat one person aren't necessarily bad to everyone else. The reason they treat this person poorly is that they unintentionally allow them to do so. This young woman does not make her friend and some other people treat her poorly through her own bad behavior. She has never mistreated others. In fact, she has always been exceptionally kind towards them, perhaps too kind. And that's what led them to start mistreating her. When people get too comfortable and know they won't get in trouble for what they do or say, they start showing their bad sides. They may become selfish, self-centered, and toxic. This doesn't happen to everyone, but some people act this way because there are no rules holding them back. And when this happens, it shocks and angers us. So why do we allow others to treat us poorly? The answer lies in our actions, boundaries, and how we communicate our expectations. Often we send signals to others about what is acceptable and what isn't. Let's explore a few more scenarios to illustrate this point. Picture this. You have a friend who constantly cancels plans, rarely responds to your messages, and generally takes your kindness for granted. You may feel hurt and frustrated, but have you communicated your feelings to your friend? Have you set clear boundaries and expressed what you expect from the relationship? I will bet you didn't, or at least not clearly. Many people find it difficult to assert themselves and express their needs. They fear conflict or worry about being perceived as demanding. However, when we consistently allow others to treat us poorly without speaking up, we inadvertently give them permission to continue doing so. Now let's consider another scenario. You are a people pleaser, always saying yes to everyone's request, even when it's inconvenient for you. As a result, people start taking advantage of your kindness, expecting you to accommodate their every need. People pleasers often fear rejection or disappointing others. They place their own needs at the bottom of their priority list, constantly seeking validation and approval from others. But this behavior of constantly pleasing others sends a signal that your needs are not important and people may exploit your willingness to please. Many times we let others mistreat us because we are afraid of being alone. We may have a strong fear of being abandoned or rejected by others. This fear can lead us to stay in relationships or situations where we are mistreated, simply because we are scared of being on our own. We prioritize avoiding loneliness over our own well-being. Another possible reason is helplessness. When we experience mistreatment repeatedly, we may start to feel helpless. We might believe that we have no control over our circumstances or that we can't change the situation. This sense of powerlessness can lead us to accept mistreatment because we believe there is nothing we can do about it. Sometimes we find ourselves justifying the mistreatment we receive. This is known as cognitive dissonance, which happens when our beliefs and our experiences don't align. We may make excuses for the person mistreating us, convincing ourselves that they will change or that the mistreatment is only temporary. This allows us to avoid facing the uncomfortable truth and maintain a sense of stability. We might also become emotionally dependent on others, seeking their validation and acceptance to meet our emotional needs. This emotional dependence can make it difficult for us to break away from relationships where we are mistreated. The fear of losing emotional support, even if it's unhealthy, can be stronger than our need for self-care and well-being. Another important reason why we allow mistreatment is because we have low self-esteem. So the way we are treated depends on how we think we should be treated. When we don't feel good about ourselves, we might believe we don't deserve to be treated with respect. These negative thoughts about ourselves make it easier for us to accept mistreatment from others. When we let others decide our worth, we are giving away our power to people who shouldn't have control over us. The problem is that when we start to believe that life is always tough, challenging and unkind, we limit ourselves and slowly lose our happiness instead of growing and enjoying life. It's all about the choices we make and how we see things. People possess a wide range of emotions, desires, and impulses that can manifest as either positive or negative behaviors. When we create an environment that allows others to freely express their darker side without facing any consequences, we inadvertently invite mistreatment. Setting boundaries makes it clear for others what behavior is acceptable and what is not. We cannot expect everyone we meet to possess these qualities. There are genuinely good people in the world who have complete control over their dark forces. Even so, far from everybody is so. Don't expect everyone to be this way, and don't take it personally when they are not. There are always two great options: clear boundaries or distancing ourselves from toxic people. Rather than fixating on changing others, we should focus on changing ourselves. Our behavior and response to mistreatment can influence how others treat us. Building healthy relationships starts with personal responsibility. And it's not about blaming ourselves or taking on unnecessary guilt. It's about recognizing the power we hold in shaping our interactions and make conscious choices that promote positive and respectful connections. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.